Good evening, everybody. It's 2 a.m., or should we say good morning, and I've just finished watching the second day of Olympic dressage for the eventers. And I must say, I have never drunk so much coffee in my life, and I've created an IT nest on the couch here, which involves several Apple products. Again, lots of coffee, various entertainment snacks, and a very big view of a fantastically giant Foxtel screen. It's been a really interesting 2 days. I think that as an event rider, the first thing I noticed is that you really need to take away any expectations of the event horses to look like a dressage horse. So it's very easy for us incredibly amazing couch coaches to criticise these horses for, not having huge movement or lacking a little bit of rhythm here and there or being a bit tight in the neck. But I think we really need to firstly just put away all of those ideas that these horses are going to be like a dressage horse. They've got such a big job to do as an eventer, and their strengths and weaknesses lie in so many varied areas. So what may appeal to one person may really not appeal to another. So, thank God for 3 judges. I think at the end of the day, the cream really has risen to the top, but there are so many very good tests, and I feel that any day of the week, all these riders could do exactly the same test, and the order may slightly change every day. There's so many very, very, very close scores. Somebody might prefer a horse that has a slightly lower way of going but a really nice rhythm, whereas another judge may say, no, it's 2 on the forehand, I want something that's more through from behind with more spark. And another judge may say, no, that's a little bit too tense and I want to see more correctness in its frame. So again, the event horse, because it's designed to gallop and jump, having a little bit maybe of a stiffer back, being a little hotter or fitter, it just makes dressage suddenly, you have to have a different expectation. Having said that, so we just saw some fantastic tests, and what really stood out to me was the rise of the Japanese team. I mean, these people are generally, they're beautiful people as a race, and as riders they showed a softness and a sympathy as well as a real attention to detail. Their tests were accurate, their horses went very correctly, they sat with a suppleness and a softness, and Yoshi Iowa is now in the lead on a beautiful chestnut horse, and of course, being a chestnut convert myself, we're waving that chestnut flag. Now, the second place rider, who was Stefano Brecciaroli from Italy, this horse just looked amazing. He has a very long name, so we'll just call him Apollo, and he's less than a mark, half a mark behind. And this was one of the flashiest horses. Like, I really sat there and watched the whole test. It had enough spark. It really moved. It was bordering on being a little bit maybe too exuberant, but he held it together. And when it entered the arena and just flashed this amazing length and stride, extended trot, it was a real eye catcher. So very, very nice horse. The best thing to see, I think, was Mark Todd. Mark Todd is an incredible person, and I think anyone that has anything to do with horses or eventing needs to go back through history and look at what Mark Todd has done and watch him on DVD. This man is amazing. He's huge. He's 6'4", and his Olympic horse, Charisma, who was 15.2, that he won gold medals on. I mean, the man can sit on absolutely anything, and I think we're really lucky to watch this kind of combination compete. And, especially to see how beautifully he rides. He's very similar to Andrew Hoyt. They just have this incredible position that is always going to look elegant on a horse, and they just make it look so easy. The next few really talented combinations, Ingrid Klimke, obviously, as a very talented dressage family that she comes from, always manages to produce a brilliant test. A few interesting ones came from then on, and this is where I think you have to understand about the event horse being a varied entity. Some of those tests you may say, well, it didn't appeal to me. Maybe it was a little bit strong, a little bit downhill, a little bit lacking in movement. But again, they equal out what they may not be so great in one area, they're very good in another. As far as our Australians go, I must say, being the couch expert here, so proud of them. Yesterday's boys, and I don't know where all these boys come from because of Pony Club. I suppose if they are weeded out and they can survive wearing jodhpurs from a young age, then they must be tough and they'll probably go all the way. But 4 out of 5 members of the Australian team are males, and yesterday's riders in Bodo, Sam and Andrew I thought sat beautifully, turned out beautifully. They probably, to me, were the pick of the best trained, most beautiful riders out there, and they rode amazing tests. Clayton and Lucinda are such an amazing duo. I thought Lucinda's horse didn't maybe look like the easiest dressage horse. He was a longer, old 3-day event format horse. Probably didn't have the strongest hindquarters, but she really rode an expert test, so she managed never to give any marks away. Clayton really could have scored way under a 40, and unfortunately had a few little glitches here and there, but he's the consummate professional and managed to end the test with 9s and 10s for his halt. So very excitingly, Australia is leading the team's competition after the dressage, and we're closely followed by Germany. So we're on a 133.2, Germany's on a 137.6, and the USA is on a 150.9. Tomorrow's cross country is apparently super hilly, very technical, although people are saying that, the jumps may not be as big. Never ever think that this is going to make anything any easier, because when you have amazing terrain, it's going to be super twisty, super difficult to get round on time. William Fox Pitt's choice of horse was, a testament to this, because he's a man who has like 4-star horses on tap, and so he chooses his horse by the one that's going to be the most suitable for the competition. So he's an equal 17th at the moment, mostly due to the fact that he didn't choose a dressage horse. He chose one that's going to be compatible for tomorrow. So it will be, I think, anyone's competition. We have an amazing group of riders here. Any of them could rise to the top. It's going to be about speed, it's going to be about efficiency, and then the next day in the show jumping, they've got to recover from probably what's going to be quite a tough day tomorrow in cross country. So basically, I hope you guys really enjoy the coverage. I must say, being nocturnal at heart really suits me to be watching this at midnight. I wouldn't give it up for the world. I've been communicating with Taurus's half owner Johnny Walker and Megan Jones, as well as some really helpful little comments from Brett Parbury. So I'm trying to bring you all the latest from what's going over there in London. So stay tuned. I hope you really enjoy the coverage, and let's just keep our fingers crossed for our Aussies, and that hopefully they'll bring home some gold. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow.